Good evening again, folks. So, I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you all about another case that has been brought to my attention. And this case was brought to me by a member of my Facebook group, Mama Phoenix and Her Hatchlings. Her name is Renee, and she brought this case to my attention. And I then spoke with a family member of the accused and was given some information on the case. I'm still working on gathering more, but I do believe that this case needs every bit as much attention as Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey's. And I believe that we as a community can do so much to right this injustice. It's fucking sickening. So, to give you some background real quick, this case is the case of Conrad Truman. Now, Conrad Truman is 33 years old, and he lives in Provo, Utah, although at the moment he is incarcerated. And he is incarcerated for murder. And not just any murder. He is incarcerated for the murder of his wife, Heidi. Now, I'm just going to give you a real basic rundown of the facts of the case. On September 30th of 2012, Conrad and Heidi were at their home, and they had been drinking a bit. They'd been drinking some whiskey, and Conrad went into the kitchen, and he heard a pop, and he comes back towards the living area, and that's when he sees his wife fall to the ground. Upon further inspection, he discovers that she has sustained a gunshot wound to her right temple. Over the course of the next 9 months, he cooperates with the officers, the whole thing, he's trying his best to find out what happened to his wife, and then he's arrested. And not only is he arrested, he is charged with her murder. And it's just, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to give you a few things from the brief that I was sent by his sister. So let's look through here. Let's see. Only a few undisputed facts exist regarding the tragic events of September 30th, 2012. First, Heidi died of a contact gunshot wound to her right temple, the bullet entering about 7 centimeters or 2.5 inches above her ear canal. Second, only 2 people were in the home at the time of the fatal shot, Heidi and Conrad. That's it. That's all that anybody actually thoroughly knows about this case. Now, having spoken with Conrad's sister, I came to understand that the first defense attorney that they hired was kind of a dick. He was constantly threatening to quit, if you guys talk to the press, I'm going to quit, and blah, blah, blah. And if you do this, I'm going to quit, blah, blah, blah. You know what, fucker? You work for them. They're the ones paying you. So you do as you are fucking told, and you don't stomp your foot like a goddamn 2-year-old. I don't give a fuck where you were schooled. I don't care what your win-loss record is. There is no win-loss record, there is no experience record, and there is no educational record that gives you the right to be a self-important, pompous asshole. God. People, when I go to law school, remind me to play hooky on the day when they're handing out the fucking sticks to shove up their ass. It's vent out. Okay, not all the way. Now, as established in the supporting memoranda and attached exhibits, the prosecution team presented false and misleading information to the Utah State Deputy Medical Examiner to procure a change in his manner of death, made countless material misstatements and omissions when seeking warrants and administrative subpoenas, and continually presented untruthful and wholly misleading evidence under oath to both this court and to the jury concerning almost every piece of material evidence presented in this case. Sound familiar? Yeah, fucking sounds like Wisconsin, doesn't it? This is fucking pathetic. This is worse than I thought, folks. Oh, see, it's not enough for us to nail Wisconsin's ass to the wall. We gotta do a countrywide overhaul, peeps. Yep, that's what we're doing. Hence the Kickstarter campaign, I'm just saying. Not only did the prosecution team fail to analyze crucial and exculpatory GSR samples, GSR stands for gunshots or gunpowder stippling residue. They then covered their failure with surprise expert testimony designed to minimize the importance of GSR evidence. The state also presented wholly incorrect and misleading testimony and diagrams of the scene that wrongfully depicts the location of the blood pool, the size and location of Heidi's body, and the location, condition, and evidentiary value of other vital pieces of evidence. The state then used this misleading and sometimes outright false evidence to label Conrad a liar. So essentially, they misrepresented the measurements of the area where Heidi died. They had the evidence available to them to tell them who the fuck fired the goddamn gun, but they never tested it. Sound familiar? This is worse than I thought, folks. Thereafter, the state argued, and this court noted that Heidi did not fire the gun because GSR was not at least visually observed on Heidi's bagged hands. Are you fucking joking me? A man's life hangs in the fucking balance after he watched his wife die, and you don't feel that it's important enough to test the swabs because you didn't see with your naked eye any visual evidence of GSR? Who's your lab partner, Scooby-Doo? Ruh-roh. The GSR results, by the way, the new attorneys, the appellate attorneys, did have those swabs tested. Get this shit. The GSR results show that Heidi's right hand, especially the crucial area between the webbing and her forefinger, the webbing between her forefinger and thumb, bears a significant quantity of gunshot residue highly characteristic of having come from the discharge of a firearm. She shot herself, folks. Now, I don't know if she did it purposely or accidentally, although from what I understand, it was an accidental shooting. But to clear up any misconceptions about this, I want you to understand something very vital. There is one key difference between Stephen Avery and Conrad Truman. The difference is that Conrad Truman is not poor. He and his wife owned their home, a very nice home, lovely home. They owned their own cars. They had money market accounts and savings. They both worked very heavily, and they traveled quite a bit. However, this is where the bias and the bullshit comes in. They live in Utah. You know what's in Utah? Mormons! A shitload of fucking Mormons. And on the night of the accidental death, I'm going to say, on the night of the accidental death, Heidi and Conrad were drinking. And that's a no-no in Mormon territory because God forbid anybody do anything in their own fucking home that anybody would not approve of. Fuck off. Take your fucking churchy bullshit elsewhere. Nobody fucking cares. So, this is another case that I'm going to start working on. I will go ahead and leave a link to the website for Conrad Truman. It's called Truth for Truman. There is a petition on there. I want you all to sign it. So go ahead and look in the description below and let's get this young man some fucking justice so that he can finally mourn his wife properly. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you soon.